Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for the Daily Blob, where I shake my brain nipples every day so I can get some of that dirty, dirty YouTube money to be able to afford to provide you folks hands-on technology education. So Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com. We do hands-on classes in Durham, North Carolina. We just did one a couple of days ago. We're going to do another one in a couple of weeks. Basically, what if there was an education program for technology where you simply came, you learn, you are empowered, and you go the fuck away. That's the idea. We're focusing a lot on AI concepts simply because people are fascinated with the AI concept. Basically, my idea is you come for the AI and you leave with the sequel. Hey, what about that? You come for the AI and you leave with the storage systems or operating system commands or whatever else. See what I'm doing? I am AI washing technology education. I do get some snarky people like, oh, if you hate AI so much, why are you doing these AI classes? Because that's all the fuck anybody wants to learn. Here's the thing. If I do a class on SQL, hey, we're going to do a class on SQLite, right? SQLite is fucking amazing. Oh my God, I am a SQLite fangirl. I love SQLite. I do a class on SQLite. Nobody's going to give a shit. Nobody's going to care. If I do a class on artificial intelligence using SQLite as a record store, so the only difference is I add a little AI routine in the beginning that then does an insert, and then depending on what you're doing, does selects, maybe we do joins. And see, now all of a sudden, like, you think you're learning AI, and what you're actually learning is insert and select and where and order by and join, left join, right join, center join. Anyways, that's what those classes are doing. It is funny though. I get those snarky people. Oh yeah, if you hate AI so much, why are you teaching it? Like, dude, motherfucker, that's what people want. That's the reality. That's how the capitalist fucking system works. All right, think about that. We had a friend of ours who's vegan, right? So my wife is vegan, so we knew somebody that's vegan. And there was like a vegan meetup we went to, and she was talking about that. She's a waitress. She was a waitress at like a diner, right? She go to a diner. And so it was hard for her because, you know, people order hamburgers and fried chicken and all that kind of stuff, and she's a vegan. She said, well, the one thing that she can do, the one thing that she can do as a vegan is that when somebody comes in and they're like, what is good on the menu? She's like, oh, you know, the eggplant parmesan. Fucking fabulous. All I eat here, which is true, is the eggplant parmesan. For her, minus the parmesan. Right? And so that's a way she can work within the system that we actually have in order to get people to eat less, animal product. Anyways, that's what I'm doing here. I am AI washing, basically standard fucking tech classes. AI with the Linux operating system, AI with SQL, AI with infrastructure as a service, AI with cybersecurity. See, yeah, I'm dumb, but at least I have a method to my stupidity, which is probably better than Meta's doing right now. This whole Meta thing is fucking hilarious. The thing that I find so hilarious with Meta is I've actually met Meta employees. And I've met ex-Meta employees. And one of the things that I question them about is this whole AI thing, right? So Meta is a communications company, an advertising company, whatever, right? So when they went into the metaverse, again, I thought it was stupid. I'm not exactly surprised with what happened, but at least it kind of made sense. It's kind of like, oh, what does Facebook look like in 2030, right? Metaverse. No, but they tried. The interesting thing is now they're pushing into artificial intelligence, right? AI. And the idea is that they have to be a leader in AI. Not just that they have to be good in AI, but they have to be the preeminent AI company for some reason. Anyways, the curious thing is I've talked, again, with employees and ex-employees, and I'm like, look, you don't even have to tell me. You don't even have to tell me what it is. But is there actually like a business rationale behind this? Like, are we gonna see in 2027 where Meta comes out with like this insane AI, infrastructure, and we realize, oh my golly, what Facebook really needed, what Instagram really needed was super intelligence or whatever else. And the curious thing is, even when I talk with a Meta employee, they're like, yeah, no. The best thing the Meta employees can tell me is they're like, well, If AI is worth, if it's worth what they think it's worth, then if Meta is a leader in AI, they will be worth a lot of money. You know, if you can sell underpants for $1 million per underpant, then the underpants gnomes aren't going to be gazillionaires. I mean, come on now. That is logical business sense. Anyway, this is the world we're dealing with. Like I say, with the whole AI thing, I'm not anti-LLMs. I'm not anti these models or whatever else. It's just this insanity. It's just like Sam Altman alone wants to spend $4 trillion in CapEx expenses just for AI infrastructure. One singular company wants to spend $4 trillion in CapEx expenses. Like, that's just a lot, man. That's a lot of money, for Christ's sakes. So anyways, the curious thing with this, again, with the whole AI deal, is it's not really working out great, even for the tech companies. Like, again, we're told everybody's going to use AI or whatever else. And the curious thing is that a lot of people in the technology companies, a lot of the engineers in technology companies, don't necessarily want to use AI. It is curious. I had the fireside chat with Kyle Hansloven, CEO of Huntress, and he was talking about that. I think it was during the actual video. Maybe it was afterwards. I think it's fine for Batcave rules. But anyways, like he was talking about, like it is actually an issue getting engineers to use artificial intelligence, the AI systems. Like they're willing to pay for AI products for their engineers and all that kind of stuff. And one thing that he was surprised about is like how much pushback there actually is for engineers, right? It's one thing for secretaries or warehouse workers or whatever not to want to use AI. But a lot of engineers are like, no, I don't need that AI crap. So that's one of the big problems a lot of these tech companies are coming into, especially companies like Meta and the companies like Microsoft, where they're trying to push their AI products to the world and tell everybody in the world that you need these AI products. And one of the problems is their own employees don't want to use this shit. So what we're starting to see more and more of is that these large tech companies are basically essentially forcing their employees to eat their own dog food, which again I do think is a curious question. I do think it is an interesting thing. Like we're told AI is an absolute necessity, but the large technology companies that supposedly hire the best minds in the world, and their own employees don't want to use this shit. Like, I'm just saying, it's curious to think about. So anyways, this is coming from, who is this coming from? Someplace, Engadget or whatever, Gizmodo. Meta's struggling metaverse team told to work 5 times faster with AI. So that's the other cute thing we're starting to see now. Mandates of efficiency. Not simply that you use AI, but you will be 5 times faster when you use AI. Because yeah, that always works. That always. Oh golly, 2025 is a weird year. I've got to say, out of all the years I've been on this planet, I'm like in my 50th year. Is that how that works? I'm getting close to being 50, and I gotta say, in all of the years, this year might just be the fucking weirdest of them all. The fucking weird. Like, there's been scary years and hopeful years. There's been depressing years. There's been all kinds of different years that I've lived through in 50 years. This shit's like the weirdest fucking year. Anyways, Meta employees still working on the metaverse are now expected to use AI to supercharge their productivity by at least 5-fold. Not only do they need to use AI, but they need to, what is that, quadruple? No, it's synctuple. Anyways, 5x their productivity. And again, one of the things to be thinking about, like with technology professionals, it's the whole question of like, what do we actually do? As I talk to you, like a real technology professional, I don't know what the fuck these people do, but like real technology professionals, it's a lot of whiteboards. It's a lot of whiteboards, and it's a lot of thinking, and it's a lot of discussion, and it's a lot of, well, if we do this, what are the ramifications for doing this? What are the ramifications for not doing this? What do we have licensing for? What do we have institutional knowledge? What do we have legacy for? Right? There's a lot of, like, people think we just sit there and talk. But a lot of times, again, you're sitting there with a cup of coffee. You see two engineers sitting there with cups of coffee in the fucking conference room, and it looks like they're just shooting the shit or whatever. But no, but like I say, they're like, well, if we do, okay, so we gotta need to do a cluster, right? For resiliency, we have our database systems, we need to cluster our database systems. So I don't know, do we do a cluster like on the middle floor and a cluster in the basement, right? So maybe if the basement floods, then the middle floor will be fine. It's like, yeah, but hey, if electricity gets cut off to the entire building, or if we get a biblical flood, that's gonna take out both clusters. That's not gonna fucking work. Shit. Okay, so we're gonna need to do a site. Okay, so biblical flood comes through. We don't want to have the site like 2 miles away, because maybe the natural disaster will take that site out too. So what if we put the site 200 miles away? And it's like, well, if you look at it here, let's say, okay, so minimum latency, has to be sub 15 milliseconds. Right, if you're looking at sub 15 milliseconds of latency for replication and the rest of that, you're looking at a max of probably about 50 miles. So we can't put it 200 miles away, because just from a technical standpoint, it's gonna be too far. Now, well, shit, what's 50 miles away? And you look at a map, nothing's fucking 50 miles. So okay, we can't do 50 miles. Okay, well, there's this data center that's 30 miles away, and there's this data center that's 12 miles away. So, okay, well, blah, blah, right? And you sit there and you talk shit through. Again, one of the big things to understand with being a technology professional is we do not get fucking paid for writing code. You do not get fucking paid for hacking servers. You do not get fucking paid for changing config files. If you do, if that is why you make your salary, you are gonna get outsourced, whether it's to AI that's run on NVIDIA or AI that's run on Curry. You're gonna be outsourced to AI. What we do is, again, it's the thought process. Thinking this shit through 1,000 times before you actually start doing anything. So it's really interesting here with this whole metaverse thing, the idea that you have to increase productivity 5-fold. And I say this I feel like I say this so much in 2025. It's my buzz phrase for 2025. What the fuck does that actually mean? And does that mean what you think it is, right? So you're just gonna have people like writing more code. So instead of writing 1,000, probably not 1,000, let's say you're writing 500 lines of code per week, they're gonna write 2,500 lines of code per week. Here's a question: what if you don't fucking need 2,500 lines of code? You've got an entire department. Let's say you got 20 people in your department, right? They all do 500 lines of code a week normally. Yeah, 20 people, that's 10,000 lines of code. That's a lot of code, but that's 10,000 lines of code. Now you 5x all of them. Now you're getting 50,000 lines of code per week. Per week. Do you actually need that? Anyways. In an internal message, first reported by 404 Media, Meta's VP of Metaverse, Vishal Shah, told employees they should be using AI to boost their work performance. The note included a graphic that read, "Think 5x, not 5%. Stupid shit said by stupid fucking managers. Again, to be clear, when I start screaming about people, I scream about everybody. I scream about everybody, right? This is the problem with dumbass fucking managers, right? Here's the thing. Your manager is not your fucking therapist, not your fucking minister, not your mommy, not your daddy, not your goddamn family member. You're not part of a military-esque team that's going to war. Motherfucker, your manager is your manager, right? Your manager is there to make sure you do the number of hours you're supposed to do in a week. Your manager is there to make sure that at the end of the week, you get your fucking paycheck, and the paycheck is the right number it's supposed to fucking be. Remember when we used to care about those things? Remember when like being a good manager was when the paychecks like were what they were supposed to be, and we were just basically happy with that, right? The manager is there to make sure people get the resources that they need. Hey, I see you're falling behind. Why are you falling behind? I'm falling behind because X, Y, or Z. And so they go and they fight the arguments to get you more resources or whatever else, right? That's what the fuck a manager does, right? Not all this other horse crap you're told they're supposed to. But motherfucker, saying to your team, think 5x, not 5%. Dumb shit. How fucking stupid are you? Like, that's the kind of shit that a manager says when they don't know what the fuck is going on. Right? I mean, you can say, hey, let's think beyond a 5% improvement for efficiency. How far can we push this? How far can we push this? And hey, I want to make sure you folks push this, but I want to make sure you don't push it so far you break shit. Because remember, real technology companies, again, I don't know about Silicon Valley. I don't know about Silicon Valley in 2025, yuck, yuck. But in real technology companies, one of the biggest things is don't break shit. Don't break shit. Right? When you fuck up your BGP routing, it's amazing how much shit goes to hell. I wonder what company pushed out a bad BGP routing route and fucked up their entire company for a couple of days. Was it a company called Facebook? There was a company called Meta. Doesn't have to worry about that. I do believe that was Facebook that did that one. Anyways, quote, our goal is simple yet audacious. Make AI a habit, not a novelty. This means prioritizing training and adoption for everyone so that using AI becomes second nature, just like any other tool we rely on, Shaw wrote. And again, the big question here is like, okay, you're going to make it, second nature, use it like any other tool, but is it going to increase productivity the way you think it is? It wasn't that long ago when the metaverse seemed to be CEO Mark Zuckerberg's biggest priority. The company even rebranded to Meta in 2021 to highlight its new virtual and augmented reality products and platforms. At one point, Meta even said the metaverse could become, quote, as important as smartphones. Remember, that was Mark Zuckerberg. That's Mark Zuckerberg. Not that long ago. But since then, the metaverse has failed to live up to the hype. That is an understatement. The company at one point reportedly burned through nearly $50 billion on its VR division. And that's when I talk about this whole AI thing with this overinvestment. It's really easy. Again, think about like with VR and kind of just not realize what happened there. Meta, one single company, burned through $50 billion. $50 billion. It is now 2025. For that level of investment, when was the last time you used VR? Right? Nowadays, Zuckerberg seems far more interested in AI. Meta is now pouring billions into AI projects. Quote, it's well known that this is a priority and we're focused on using AI to help employees with their day-to-day work, a Meta spokesperson told Gizmodo. For his part, Zuckerberg told investors on a call in April that he expects by the middle of next year that AI agents, quote, are going to be doing a substantial part of AI research and development. In May, he reiterated that, saying they'll write most of Meta's code within the next 12 to 18 months, right? And this really seems the idea of pushing the concept of the technology before you fully fucking prove in the technology. And again, when we talk about these technologies, what things I talked about before is workflows and support and the rest of it, right? Is all of that actually going to fit into place? Quote, a 5x leap in productivity isn't about small incremental improvements. It's about fundamentally rethinking how we work, build, and innovate. It's about you not knowing what the fuck is going on, Shaw. It's about you being a worthless fucking piece of shit and shoving a product down your employees' throats and not really thinking through what the fuck that means. And this, again, this is the biggest problem with AI. Again, start deploying AI into your companies, right? Do classes, right? If I had a team, right? If I had a team right now, God fucking help me, right? I would want every member of my team to find an AI product and just say, you find whatever fucking AI product you feel makes, your life more efficient or whatever. And then basically every week we would do a lunch and learn. I go out and buy the good sushi. Man, we wouldn't buy the Trader Joe's sushi. We buy the good sushi, right? We'd sit down or pizza or what the fuck ever else. We'd have a lunch and learn. And every week, a member of the team would go up and they would do a presentation on the AI tool that they're currently using, right? How it has improved what they're doing, how it has caused a problem with what they're doing, and they would become the lead for that particular product. If the particular product that they're using turns out to be shit, which it probably is much of the time, then they'll say why it turned out to be shit. They get to go out and pick a new AI product, right? That is a way. Look, I want you to start integrating this into your workflows. You get to pick the tools. I'm not shoving this down your throat. You get to figure out. You're a smart boy and girl. You get to figure out what you think is going to be more efficient. So you get to talk with people, discuss, right? You become the lead there. You show the other people, and then you get the buy-in. Oh shit! Wow, that would have made my life easy, right? Oh, I didn't realize I could do that, because again, that's one of the things with a lot of these products, right? They're products. They got configurations, whatever else. Oh, when I used that product before, I wasn't getting good results. I didn't realize if I put a checkbox, or if I had a YAML file, or if I do something, my results would actually improve. Shit! I wish I had been using that for the past month if I had understood. Right? That is a way to get team fucking buy-in. This horse shit, this garbage, Shaw, get the fuck out. Shaw, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg wasn't serious about his year of efficiency, because you still have a fucking job now, don't you? Anyways, he added that AI should be integrated into every major code base and workflow. Fuck me, every workflow? Every workflow. And said the company expects 80% of Metaverse employees to have AI integrated into their daily routines by the end of the year. And this doesn't just apply to engineers. Shaw said project managers, designers, and others should also be, quote, rolling up their sleeves and building prototypes, fixing bugs, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. He said the team could move 5 times faster by eliminating friction and rapidly prototyping ideas with feedback loops measured in hours, not weeks. Sure, bucko. Sure. Oh, wow. Did you get your degree out of a Cracker Jack box? Were you surprised? Were you opening a Cracker Jack box as a little kid, and you opened up and you got the little prize inside, and it was a fucking computer science degree, and that's how you got a fucking job with Meta? That's what it fucking sounds like. Motherfucker sounds like he got his degree out of a Cracker Jack box. Jesus Christ. All right. Feedback loop measured in hours. Now wait, fuck, have you dealt with human goddamn beings? I know we're geeks. I know we try to stay away from humans. Look, I'm in a basement screaming into a camera with my dog. I get it. But fuck me. You do. You gotta understand the basics of how humans work. So anyways, I don't know. Again, this is the continued absurdity of this shit. And my frustration with all of this stuff, right? Is there is a rational, logical way to start deploying technology that is multifaceted. Again, notice how I say this, right? Giving agency to your employees, doing education, getting buy-in, figuring out what products do what, the whole 9 yards, right? There are ways to push new technology forward. I'm telling you, having deployed projects, you try to shove new technology down people's throats. There is nothing more fucking hilarious than when the secretaries just say, fuck the hell off. Like, wait, no, but you're not supposed to tell me to say fuck the hell out. No, don't. Hey, secretary, don't you understand? The CEO said he wanted this implemented, and then they just look at you, and they're like, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. There is just nothing like sitting in an office environment with somebody that gets paid barely more than a minimum wage, as they just say no, and you're like, yeah, see, you're not allowed to say no. Don't you understand what the CEO decreed? And they're just like, no. But anyways, that's just my lived experience. Oh, so what do you think about this? What do you think about Meta telling their employees to be 5 times faster with AI? They don't want 5% improvement. They want 5x improvement. I mean, is it just getting funny at this point? Is this just, you watch these movies, you see The Office, you see Parks and Recreation. Is this like some 2025 version of Parks and Recreation? I wonder if like in 2 years, like this television show is gonna come out, and there are gonna be like all these secret cameras that were set up in some like startup company somewhere, and then like maybe there's like secret cameras in this room. And then there's just gonna be this show of like these engineers and CEO founders like doing all this shit, and then it'll flash to the jackass in his basement screaming in the camera about how stupid this is. Maybe, maybe this is like, I don't know, like the next version of like, Parks and Recreation or The Office. Maybe, because it's getting to be that funny. It's getting the, like when you used to watch The Office, and then it was funny because you had been through those problems before. That's what I kind of feel like with AI. It's just getting like, just doesn't make sense. Just, anyways. So what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Put your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down. Call me amazing, call me a dumbass. Say Roxy is the real star of the show. Just be a real Lutnick and do it down there in that comment section. Again, my real pride and joy is silicondojo.com. Silicon Dojo, we do in-person technology classes to actually show you how all this crap works. Durham, North Carolina, our next one is going to be coming up in about 2 weeks. Trying to do it every 2 weeks or so up there in Durham. Again, it's in person. You come in, you get to ask questions. Hopefully you get to build stuff, the whole 9 yards. It's great. It's a place called American Underground. Just a fucking fabulous thing. I enjoy doing that. Anywho, if you're interested, sign up for those classes. And with that, see y'all later.